If you don't remember, phenomenal football coach, too.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody, and aloha. Most of you probably know me as mayor, if you even know who I am. But I would tell you right now that I wouldn't be here today as mayor if it wasn't for my experience in sports. But first of all, I want to acknowledge David Totofi and his team, and just the fact that you're in this room today and what they want to achieve, and just having seen what's up there on the screen about 17 keys, what every family needs to know. The world of college sports today and the aspiration to be in that world and all that it takes is something really challenging for all of us. It's become very different. So I want to just give you a little historical perspective since I'm an old guy. When I played high school and college football in the 1960s, okay? It was a long time ago. And the world was very different then. And we had different aspirations. When I was a kid growing up, well, we would ask ourselves, are you smart enough to go to college? Because most of us, nobody in our families ever went to college. That was the first aspiration. Am I going to be smart enough? And then as an athlete, would I be good enough to play in college? Do I have what it takes to play there? Because these were all unknown levels, if you will, that we were all trying to aspire to achieve. And then if I was good enough to play in college, could I go to a good college? And the way we defined good colleges in those days was schools that had great academic reputations, And could I get a scholarship to one of those schools? Because my parents could not pay for me to go to college. Could I do that? These were where our aspirations were. And they were really, when I think back in retrospect to the world today, and what it takes to compete today, knowing full well that sports is a reflection of society, it's very, very different. It's very different. And I know that the athletes today are dealing with very different pressures, and families need to be supportive of that. So we went from a very innocent experience, and all that happened for me as it turned out. And I would tell you that that has been the foundation. I'll be 79 next month. I had a 43-year business career after 8 years of coaching college football, 8 seasons, 7 years of coaching college football was all in that foundational stuff. So I know that sports and what you can take away from sports beyond the money and the glamour and all of the other stuff that seemingly is a dominant theme, it seems, these days, is the stuff that really lasts a whole lifetime. And so those are the things that I held on to. Those are the things that I learned that served me well. And one of the things that meant a lot to me that I heard from a football coach, Coach Ted Dunn, many years ago, he used to tell us all the time, what you give is what you keep, and what you save is what you lose. And a lot of that times that was really meant to, when we were out there in the field of play, to give everything we had, but it was also true in life. And part of the thing I get concerned about today is that there's just a lot of pressure about, how much money did I get in NIL? What is the glamour of all of that and the pressure that comes with that? And honestly, the foundational stuff, and I really worry about it. I'll be very honest with you. So much of what I learned in sports, playing and coaching, and it really had a lot to do with teamwork, overcoming adversity, loyalty, love of my fellow players, commitment, hard work, certainly teamwork. And sometimes I just wonder when people think, well, I'm going to go play and I'll sell myself out to the highest bidder. And kids don't even think twice about whether they're going to go to 3 or 4 different colleges in their careers. And when I hear announcers talking about that, they'll sometimes cite a player. And don't get me wrong, I understand that. I do. But I sometimes feel that athletes are being robbed of the things that really last a lifetime because they're kind of out there trying to play and perform for the highest bidder because that's the expectation. So I know what this program today is going to be about, and as Pastor just says, the first, I think what David wants to achieve, we've had a number of conversations in helping all of you and giving you some guidance is so incredibly valuable. That's why I wanted to be here today when he asked me this, so for those of you out there that are athletes and those families that are here to support them, you need each other, you love each other. I would hope that everybody can live their dreams and achieve the things that you want to, and you should believe in that, and go for it. Don't hold anything back, but try to keep some perspective and balance in all of this. It will serve you well. So I'm honored to be here today. I know you've got a full array of people that are going to talk to you. They're going to share their manao and all their knowledge on this. I just wanted to come here today and say, as a community, thank you for being here. If you're in this room, you're here for all the right reasons. You know, God bless you. God bless the journey that you want to go for. It's worth fighting for. Just keep your perspectives. Keep your feet on your ground. Know what you believe in, okay? It is about values. It is about character. Those things matter. You know, if you listen to the NFL coaches and they talk about in the combine when they're in how they're assessing players, they talk about the character issues, not necessarily the sprint or the bench presses or some of the other criteria. That's what they're looking for today more than ever. So as you build your bodies and you improve your game, don't lose your character. Hold on to your values. Know who you are, okay? God bless all of you. Thank you for being here.